What the heck is going on, guys? How's everybody? Today we have another podcast here with TOPHERSMURF, our favorite streamer slash content creator. Don't tell the other content creators. So first things first, I do want to talk about my account here. I made some big gains overall in my power. It doesn't really look like it, but what I did was I was actually at like 176. But sorry, not there. I reset my account level stuff because I was dumb and like I was like all into summoner. But I like reset it and went like did the full monster trees on both. So now like my best stat is like, oh, she doesn't have her runes on.
Yeah.
Lol. But yeah, my Juno's like 109. My best stat's like 115, I think.
Nice.
My Tayor is already 110, which is actually impressive because, yeah.
Yeah, that is impressive.
But he has 6-star runes a little bit. So, he's pretty good. And then, yeah, my Theo. But yeah, so some big gains. Pretty happy. And then also, this is the big one, too. I finished my master tier.
No.
Super nuts. Alright, but anyway, let's get into the main stuff of the game. So one of the first things that we should talk about is the auto mining.
Yeah.
So I was actually... Sorry?
I don't think anybody can talk about anything else right now.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised. I did a poll on YouTube there. Not like I have very many people, but I think like 37 people or something like that did it. And
Yeah.
It was only a problem for 41% of people.
Okay.
Which surprised
it's one
me.
of those situations where it's like the vocal, minority sort of situation.
Yeah.
Where it does affect everybody for sure, but I think it definitely affects some people more than others. And those people are probably a little bit more vocal about it. And they should be, right? It definitely is something we need to fix. But yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, on that point about the vocal, I think you're totally right. And the thing is, a lot of the hardcore grinders are the ones who are more willing to be in Discord and in their face kind of about it, which is why it seems so prevalent. So I'm going to give my quick thoughts about it after it being a couple days, and then I'll let you go ahead and give your thoughts, and Chetta maybe can give his too. But so I originally was super salty about this. I was one of the people on the train of like, this is BS, this is going to be so bad, blah, blah, blah. But me and Chetta, thankfully, because we have the videos and stuff, I was able to kind of like go back and look and see how much I was actually mining. And though there was days where I did like 6,000-7,000 in one day, because I was like about it that day, overall, I didn't really farm it very much. And this 1,000 a day on auto, now mind you, if you're free to play, I think that's a different story. I think you should be riding. But with 1,000 a day cap, I think this is just actually better. I think you're going to get way further, just because it is auto. But if you want to let me know your thoughts on it.
Yeah, definitely. I was in that same boat where it was like, oh my gosh, like, yes, I do have the battle pass. I do pay for the battle pass. It is something that I do. So I do have that 1,000 mining cap, and I was mining maybe 10 a day, right? But based off what I needed at that moment. Oh, I was making a little trinket on the processing, and I needed a couple more gold. I went and got a couple more gold. So I was mining almost zero. I was just doing my exploration lizard, and now I can just sit it on auto, and I've got, 1,000 more sapphires that day, and the next day 1,000 emeralds, and that's just crazy. Way more than I was ever going to get on my own. Mining was just one of those few things that I absolutely hated doing because it was just so incredibly tedious, and I felt like I was wasting my life away as I was sitting there mining away. And so I hated it. So I loved the auto feature. Now I do understand that I am not of the same boat as a lot of other free to play players that only have the 200. And that 200, that's on my alt account is only 200. And I was like, that went by so fast, right? And it really wasn't able to get a whole lot. So I think it's still more than I was doing, even on my free to play account, right? The 200 was still more than I was doing. But I totally understand where people are coming from. There's hardcore gamers, there's hardcore grinders that they want to be able to sell stuff in the shop, right? They want to be able to make crystals that way. And there definitely needs to be a balance for both the players that want to do that, right? And then the players that don't want to do that. I think auto mining is a great feature, but I'm not exactly sure what the solution would be from the developers, though. So
Chetta, from your perspective, you also only have the 200, right? Because you're not buying the pass right now, right?
Yeah.
So what do you feel about it at the 200 limit? Like, how are you?
Gonna be 200 more than I ever farmed.
Yeah, so you're like in the same boat as Topher. Yeah, like so I think a lot of people who are upset about it are probably past buyers. And they might be right. There was a few people on our server who were probably mining more than 1,000 a day. There was a couple. But I paid attention to those charts in the last like month or so, maybe month and a half, because to be honest, I was going for mining or gathering king. And yeah, there was very few people, to be honest, probably hitting more than 1,000 a day. Like, I think the people who were like winning mining king were at the low weeks, it was like 8,000-9,000. At the high weeks, it was like 12,000, which I understand is like 4,000 more than this. However, they have a field event. I should probably go show that.
yeah, that's a pretty good hack, quote unquote, I guess.
Okay, so they have a field event. Is it this one?
Yeah.
Actually, we might even get to do this in the podcast. It's in 40 minutes, maybe, we'll see. But
Yeah.
essentially what happens is it's just this like big giant green emerald thing. It's not an emerald, sorry, but it's like green. And you just like stand there and mine it. Is it half an hour, Chetta?
Yeah.
For half an hour. And you get like all the different
Mining materials.
Yeah. And then there is one for the gathering too, right? It's the same way. You get like sticks and mangoes and stuff, or no?
One thing was a mango tree and one thing was a chamomile flower. And they would just keep spawning like the 10 sized ones.
Oh yeah, yeah,
over and over again. Kind of how the one treasure chest event, where you have to collect the treasure chest. If you just stand in one spot, you can just keep collecting the treasure chest over and over again.
Yeah, the exact same one.
Yeah, 'cause it's got like a 3-second spawn timer.
Yeah, so on the topic of the mining cap, they made it way better, kind of, the mining and gathering events, and there's no longer a winner. You just like everyone gets rewards. And since it's half an hour and it doesn't end, you can go do it on all 3 summoners and get the rewards on all 3 summoners. So that's really important for this event because you can just like do this on all 3 summoners in the half an hour and get all the rewards. And you also get 10 lock shards on each of your summoners.
Okay.
Oh, maybe not for that one though. They're all different, right?
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, the one yesterday was the lock shards.
But it's definitely better rewards overall for all the field events, it seems like.
Yeah, and I think they kind of addressed a lot of the mining issues because you can mine for like 90 minutes a day. I get it's time gated, so obviously that sucks, but
it's like a free auto sort of time areas, right? You just sit there and mine it.
So yeah, I went from having like no lock shards to having tons, and I crafted all these already.
Right.
So pretty ballin'.
Yeah. Overall, I think the change does benefit the majority. And unfortunately, I feel like that's the way developers have to develop games, is for the majority of their player base. And unfortunately for the paying player base. So not sure exactly how it affects, the paid players too much. But yeah, so it's a hard situation for the developers to be in. Nobody's, there's always going to be dissenters. There's always going to be people that don't like it. But I don't know. I feel like it's an overall good change for the majority of the community. And right now there has to be some form of cap. Otherwise, everybody just autos infinitely, right? So there has to be something. But yeah, not sure exactly what the solution is, but I feel like this does help the majority.
I think they should have kept it ×2 like everything else is. Not that I think that that's super fair either, but I think free to play should have been 500 instead of 200. Yeah. So like it's ×2 rewards for everything, right? So why not make it ×2 mining as well?
Right.
That was Chetta's idea. I stole it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, just a quick free to play, increase the cap. It seems kind of crazy difference, 200 to 1,000, right? So yeah, we want to make the battle pass worth it for people. I get it from the developer side. But it was already pretty worth it, and now it just made it crazy more worth it.
I have a super unpopular opinion on this too, which I'm gonna say, and like I'm gonna get hate in the comments, but that's okay. Feel free to hate. If you think of a game like WoW, I understand this isn't WoW. Okay, I get it. But if you think of a game like WoW, you have to pay a subscription, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Path of Exile like that too?
No, it's free.
Oh, it's free?
No, that's
Isn't there one of the new ones that are like that? Or is it just WoW? Give me more examples, Chega. Okay, cool.
That's
Just
a
WoW.
subscription model.
There's a couple other
well.
games, yeah, but they're similar to WoW.
But there's a lot of games that you pay $90 to play the game, right? And then you also have to pay for live updates when they update it. So obviously if you can't afford it, I'm not talking about you, like you're in a different position. But if you spend $10 on a scratch ticket a month or something, or $15, why not just spend it on this instead? Especially if you're playing it for more than an hour or two a day. So I am a really big advocate for the Summoner's Pass, which I know is an unpopular opinion, and like I understand some people straight up just can't afford it. But if you're getting like more than 7-8 hours of entertainment from this a week, like I feel like $15 is nothing a month.
Right, for the 2 passes. Even if you just got the Summoner's Pass alone, right, which is what, $8-9 or something like that.
Oh, sorry, I'm Canadian. That's why my prices are always
my bad. I'm down here with the crippling American dollar. Soon to be worthless.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're in America, $15 for both of them, I guess. It's only $8 for the Summoner's Pass, which the Arena Pass is definitely not as important.
Right? Just don't buy eggs for 1 month or for a week. Eggs are expensive down here.
Yeah, that's why I said it's like super unpopular opinion. I understand like everything that's going on. I just think like a lot of people spend like a lot of money elsewhere too, you know.
No, certainly. Yeah, I think I'm in a similar boat where it's like I'm personally in a position. Obviously, I can pay for the battle pass, and I can pay for a little bit of entertainment. And I'm blessed to be in that position to do that. So I'm also doing content creation, of course. So I feel like I'm going to be really far behind if I don't. But I also do agree that if I am enjoying a game several hours a day, even more with this game, then I should be giving back in some way. So even if it's just like a dumb little mobile game that I pick up randomly, I'll generally throw the developers $5, $10, $15 on some early sort of pack or pass or something like that, just to kind of get a little bit of an enjoyment out of that early time of that game. Do I play that game forever? Most of the time, no. But I do want to support developers that are making good games. And another unpopular opinion probably is that I feel like Com2uS has actually done a really good job with listening to feedback and making those changes pretty rapidly in this game. I know that, the global servers are a couple weeks behind, and, they're mad about 6-star runes, they're mad about a couple other things. But at the same time, the global servers have caught up so incredibly fast.
So much faster than we
are. Yeah, no, like they are almost here, like right behind us, and it's only been a couple weeks. So it's like, I think the developers are doing the best they can. They have listened to our feedback. They have made those changes. And I think it's for the players that are on here every single day, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. They're in Discord. They're in official chat while Barcode and Idle are having a good time, right? Those vocal minorities are the ones that are going to, I don't know, kind of be the most bummed out about the wait, right? Having to wait for things. Whereas for the most of the casual players, the wait is like nothing. Developers are really making these changes relatively fast.
If you're casual on global, there's no way you're like already doing the newest raid that already just came out and like already set up as a casual. Like,
yeah.
Maybe it depends on what your definition of casual is, I guess. But if you're only playing an hour a day, like I just don't see it. Personally.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And it's definitely not the casuals that are in the chats that are in our comments and that kind of stuff.
For sure. Like, see, I'm extra mad about the mining thing because, like, when I put out the video about the update, like, my comments got flooded, like, guild chat was flooded, like, all these chats were flooded with it. And then I realized, like, it wasn't so bad. And, like, I'm sure like 50% of people who were upset about it probably came to the same conclusion. But, like, maybe I'm wrong because I was upset about it too. So.
Right. But yeah, let us know down in the comments, guys, if you feel like, what is your solution, right? It's not just lift the cap, right? Because we got to understand from a developer's point of view, we can't just lift the cap and leave auto mining. So what is your solution? And let's give some constructive feedback to the developers so they can make those changes.
on how they can actually change it. Yeah, because they will listen if they have like a reasonable.
Sure, they do, and they have, and that's something that I want to celebrate CompTOS developers for doing, is listening and making some pretty vital changes for us.
Oh yeah. So next thing I want to talk about, have you tried the new Expedition boss?
I have not. I've been slacking on the new
Ooh.
continent. It's just been a busy weekend for me, but I'm almost through the first continent, and I'll be trying. I have looked at some other people doing the new expedition. We've been talking back and forth, theory crafting about it. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
I kind of forgot you weren't there yet, and was really hoping you were, because I have no idea. One thing I do want to say, okay, I don't recommend this, but I kind of gave up today after. Oh, I think the game crashed. Oh, there we go. I kind of gave up today after like 15 tries at her and ran a few of these to get my master craft. I think I ran like at 17, 17, so I ran 11. But the drop rates have gotten significantly better, and also they have they added these to them, which used to only be in the two ones, and I got one of those and two of these in 10 runs. So phenomenal drop rates now.
Right.
So I bet you this one's like really good too. But so if you look at the what you need to like pass it, so it says Mage Monster and Fire Knight Monster. So personally, I'm just screwed.
Yeah.
I don't have a Mage Monster. Like
I think a lot of people are going to be building Chiwu for this because he's a free monster. He's a mage. He does block beneficial effects, right? Seals, all that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of people are going to be running him as a free-to-play option. Seeing a lot of people talk about Colleen. Colleen also for the new tier glands as well. A lot of people are running Colleen.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Colleen.
Harpoo or something. Yeah, 4-star. A lot of people running that. But yeah, those are the big ones that I've heard of. I see a lot of Fire Panda, being a night monster and fire. And he does the cleanse, which I know is important here. Yeah,
see, I was thinking Kumar, but I don't know what he actually does, to be honest.
Yeah, he's on my list to build for sure.
Because he's like kind of a free-to-play unit as well, and he is like a fire knight.
Right. Yeah, he was sort of that free-to-play unit. I was so dumb. I was using his pieces in the exchange shop because he wasn't that great. And then thankfully, I did summon him. Basically, as soon as he went away, the next week, I was able to summon him.
Yeah, so he has the skill that's kind of like Juno's, I guess.
Remove all harmful. Yeah, cleanse is something that's good here. It looks like Vanessa is making her way back in this raid as well. Check out the statistics on her. As a night monster, she does defense break, she does attack up, she does the continuous recovery, and a little bit of damage as a kind of a bruiser. So she's making a little bit of a comeback too. I restored Vanessa a long time ago, so I'm trying to decide what I'm going to invest in order to do this raid. Sounds like a bunch of monsters I don't have.
Yeah, looks like Kumar was not the right call on my part, maybe. I don't using Kumar. See, everyone's using her. I don't have her. I suck. But you know what? I wonder how many people have actually passed this.
Right? Yeah, I don't think as many as we have to realize these bosses are hard. These are the people that are end game that have been playing this game since day one that are, clearing and autoing these floor 2 hard bosses. So for some of the people in the comments that are talking about like, oh, your summoners are so powerful, that's why you can do this. Like, yeah, that is exactly why we can do it. It's hard mode for a reason. It's meant for, end game players. It's not meant for players that just started 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and like it takes a long time to get them all the materials you need, even as far as like Skystones, gold and stuff, equipment, just to like actually like get to the point where like you can farm the things that like get you to the next point. Like, you know what I mean? Like we had to do that at one point too. We were at that point as well.
Yeah, this game is just a slow increments of power increases, right? You make big jumps here and there, but it's all slow increments over time.
But I was definitely one of those people that was like on the hating Korea train because they're way ahead of us. But like, you know what I did start doing? And like, I don't want to encourage this because like, content creator and stuff like that. But like, I kind of just stopped paying attention to the Korea stuff till we got like more caught up.
Yeah, they're on a
'Cause it-
completely different schedule. Like they've got different
Yeah.
stuff. They've had stuff for months that we don't have yet. So it's not like, oh, they have it and we're gonna get it next. Like that's not always the case.
But I love to watch their guides and stuff still. Like anytime we were about
Sure.
to get new content, I would go to Storyteller and be like, okay, how am I going to beat this new content? Who do I need to
Right.
build?
For sure, yeah. Storytellers definitely helped out the community a lot.
So let's talk about some of the rewards from the new zone. So first of all, a lot of gold.
Yes, that's what I've noticed. Tons of gold. It's really good for masters.
Oh yeah, the gold was really nice. I thought there was something. Yeah, there's the 400k gold here.
Decent amount of sky stones and a decent amount of like books, like hero books and like supreme stones and effect stones and things. I've noticed. Obviously, some 6-star runes, purple 6-star runes here and there.
Yeah, it was really good. It actually helped me get my master tier because it gave me 3 of the books, and I got pretty lucky. I think it's, which one was it? This one? No, this one. Yeah, 100,000 sky stones here.
Yeah.
So you can like go do this one on all your alts, and that's like 300,000 sky stones. And then I think we're getting the archer chick. Is it an archer? Aren't we getting
Summoner?
it?
Yeah.
Summoner.
Who knows
At
what?
some point.
I
Yeah.
thought it was released on the next patch. I suck.
Not yet, unfortunately. We
yeah,
might
that
get
sucks.
the monster. I don't know. One of those monsters. We got Magical Archer and Ninetails Fox that are coming up eventually. But we don't know when.
I love the nine-tailed foxes in Sky Arena.
Yeah. Again, Comtuous' art team absolutely carrying these games. They
Yo,
do
the
such a good job.
cutscenes were really well done.
Yes.
I was very impressed. I don't know how many you've been able to see yet, but yeah, we actually in one of our videos recently we showed the one, but I was really impressed with them, and I'm really sad because I wasn't paying attention when I finished the game, and I missed the end cutscene. So Cheddar needs to hurry up and finish the game so I can watch it.
I think, can't you like go back into little storybooks and isn't there a place where you can see the cutscenes? I thought there was.
Oh, if there was, that'd be
that's
balling.
not the
But-
guard journal.
Oh, it's in Guard Journal.
I forget where it was, but I was pretty sure there was a place you could go back and see it. But
Oh, this is amazing too, actually.
oh yes, yes.
That's where it is if you click back one at the top there. No, not there.
What? You do it. But what else is it? So the new zone, yeah, I guess that's what we're talking about right
For
here.
sure.
But
Yeah,
there's like
just
so many
this,
things.
see?
Oh,
Yeah, I think there is
You
something you
can
can do in
read.
here. Oh, is it just the read? I thought there was videos.
Yeah.
Maybe I was mistaken. I was thinking about recording some of the cinematics at some point, but like they still haven't fixed the where people's stuff pops up on the screen. Like whenever they plus 12 a legendary piece of gear or something, like it pops up on the screen, and there's no way to get rid of that. You can get rid of like the 5-star people summoning 5 stars, but I haven't found a way to get rid of the other one.
the 6 stars and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in here. Oh yeah, it's just
So-
5-star summon, yeah.
It's just the 5-star. It's not when people rank up.
Oh,
It's the
this
last
right
one
here.
left.
System.
Yeah, I've got it all turned off, and it still.
Oh,
Still
it still
pops
comes
up.
up. But yeah, so I went through the whole new zone. Cheddars through most of it. The new bosses, or like not bosses, but like boss levels or whatever you want to call them.
Mhm.
A little frustrating, but very, very fun. I was actually like beyond impressed. It was like a lot more than just like pew pew die.
Right.
So Cheddar, do you want to talk about your experience with it so far? Topher
What?
hasn't done very many.
The new zone?
I've
yeah.
done a couple of those zones. I think the first, it was like the first area dungeon, which was where you had to like collect all the healers and like then fight that boss. That one was a little bit annoying, but after that, I liked all the other dungeons. The ones where you had to light up the dungeon. There was the
Fun.
one with you had the little orbs and you had to run away and you had to grab the little orbs as they showed up. Everything was really quite fun and well thought out. Now, I do know that some of those dungeons have been significantly harder for mobile players. There was a couple instances where a lot of mobile players took 5, 6, 7 tries to get something because it's just so hard to like click on tiny little things really fast on the mobile screen. There was one dungeon in particular that had like no checkpoints, so you could be like 15 minutes into the dungeon and then it's like back to the beginning.
Yeah, that was the one. Chetta had a lot more trouble with it than I did, and he has a smaller phone. But yeah, you have to like attack these little like blue circles, and if you
Yeah, that's
attack
the
the
one.
red or the red diamonds or the blue squares,
Yeah, that's
then
the
it like
one.
attacks you. So I will say for mobile players, I'll give my tips. Like I understand your frustrations, so I'm not trying to like explain to you, but like what you got to do. So you need to turn off your F2 and your F3 here, so your whistle and your targety thing.
Okay.
And you need to turn off auto, of course.
You can't auto in there.
Okay, whatever. And then you would need to make sure you have Shushu soul linked. And then what you need to do is you need to only basic attack. And it generally will direct you automatically towards the circles. So you can just kind of like walk around and like do the circles. And then a couple more just like fun tips when you're trying to do anything, such as like Battlefield or hard zones on mobile. Turn your phone off for like half an hour, like not off, but like lock it. And then when you go in, make sure you have like max brightness on and do your 30 minutes or whatever. And then don't try to do anything else for a little bit because your phone overheats. I
Right,
hope
yeah, it
they
does.
fix it. And then one more thing, and then I'll shut up. They do need to allow you to make the boxes smaller. I think Barcode mentioned it on the stream that he did with Idle there on CompTOS, but they need to allow you to make the boxes smaller because the space for your analog stick is ridiculously small.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem. I'm
Yeah,
always
especially
missing
when
a
you
little
have it
analog
like
stick.
this. You have the map and the targeting
Right.
thing up. The stick spots are so small.
For sure.
Yeah, you can even see it like on the PC how small it is, so you can imagine if it was like shrunk down to a phone, right?
Yeah, you can actually pull that up if you want to use that on PC or if you plug in like a gamepad or something. I just
Yeah.
use the WASD keys on PC.
Yeah, us as well. Way easier. But yeah, that's definitely a problem. So I hear mobile players on that.
For sure.
But there's another dungeon after it. It's like or another few dungeons that we didn't talk about. There's this like fog one. So you can't like heal and you have to go to these circles and you have to like find these like spots where you don't explode.
Right.
And yeah, I was in it for like 12 minutes and I was like about to get to the spot that didn't explode me. And I like died like on the line of the explosion and it didn't save and I had to go redo it all and I was hella salty. But it was a lot quicker the second time because you know, right?
Right. Sure. And that's, I feel like that's okay. You know what I'm saying? It does suck that you have to redo something after doing it for 9. But I mean, I think the content should be difficult, right? I think it
Yeah,
should
exactly.
be hard. I mean, I'm doing it on my little alt account. She's still level 64, my light dark account, and she was able to clear through some of the dungeons relatively easy. Yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge, but I don't necessarily think it's something that's like gated too badly, this new content.
I find it a lot more like skill based, these dungeons, because it's not just like pew pew.
Right. More mechanics and stuff.
Yeah.
More of a puzzle.
More of a puzzle.
Right.
Yeah, I got so salty at the one. It wasn't even hard, but I don't know if you remember because they had this mechanic kind of before, but it's like this lock key and it puts out like a red thing, and you have to like be in the hole where like the key isn't, and it looks like a key. I don't know how else to explain it. That's a really bad way to explain it.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
I showed it to you today. I was getting so salty. It's like a gold thing, pillar, and it's like circular. And the content before, you had to stand there and like,
Oh yeah.
and it pushed you back. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes. It spun around. It was in Rukarongma. It was one of the quests in Rukarongma. Yes, that one always bugged me.
Yeah, so this new one, you don't have to touch it. You have to just like literally avoid it. And then you have to go over to this other thing and like do it. And I was so frustrated.
Yeah, that was one of the earlier dungeons. I remember that one.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it wasn't even that hard, but I was so
Like,
frustrated.
once you know what to do, like I think that was my hardest part. It's like half of the stuff is like, us. We're just like clicking through the instructions. And so
Yeah,
like,
I don't
once I
wanna
knew
read.
what to do, it was quite easy to do a lot of the dungeons, but I think it was just figuring out what was the mechanics of the dungeon. Once I did that, it was relatively easy.
Oh,
So I
Topher,
think
you
it's
know,
a good difficulty.
So for what we really need to talk about, and we need to theory craft together right now, Chetta, go into the professions.
Ooh.
So, professions got much cheaper for all you global.
Okay.
They did. For all you global players complaining, okay? I hear you, but I did it the long way. And I'm done. So I'm crying. Okay? So, the first thing I want to talk about, we're going to go to alchemy. Processing. Here's the logs.
Oh, yeah. It goes a long way.
The logs.
Oh,
Okay,
yes,
no. This is the good recipe. Look at the bad recipe first. Okay. This recipe wants 3 of the sticks, right? The green ones.
3 and 5, yeah.
Yeah. But the new recipe only wants 2 and 2.
Oh, and then these you can just auto mine now, or auto farm.
Yeah, and it's the same price.
Yeah, these logs are needed for like
same price. 5,000.
Oh, yeah.
Same price as gold. Yeah, so way cheaper. And this is one of your huge blocks for master tier, is these.
Yeah. It's
and
nice
then
that it doesn't use the little branches, because you need the little branches for lots of other stuff.
For all these, yeah.
Yeah, for all those. Well, you need the big logs too. Yeah, man, you need those logs for everything.
Go to the expensive one first. So this is also another gigantic block for master.
Massive.
So it wants 3 of these emeralds, which if we go into the emeralds... Sapphire, sorry. And we go into how to craft them. So for the sapphires, they want 3. Oh, it's 3 for the other one too. Sorry, this is the wrong spot. But yeah, and then the wooden logs, which we already looked at. There's a cheaper recipe. And then this here, so there's now even a cheaper recipe. They want 1 and 1.
Right.
But still the 3 boards.
Yeah, so the manga root, you can actually just like straight up farm, so it's not hard to get. And then those emeralds, it is 3 to make it, but it only costs you 1. So it's way cheaper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. Yeah.
And then there's going to be way more.
Those hammer little things, those blue hammer sets back in processing, those we use a ton of those too. Yeah, those right there in level 5. We tend to use a ton of those.
So this recipe's cheaper as well? Yep.
Okay,
so
that's good. Yeah, big.
This is really easy to farm as well. It has like its own outcrop thing. Yeah, so that's a way cheaper way as well for that.
What's a very cheaper way to make these too?
To make what? No, it's the same for the books. But everything to make the books got cheaper. That's the whole thing.
Well, they also gave us more of these resources, the fire hearts, the crystals.
Yeah, with Expedition, they gave us way more.
Yeah, they've given us way more of those resources. So I'm consistently now don't have a problem making these books for Master now. Whereas before I was like specifically having to farm and refresh certain dungeons sometimes.
I spent so many crystals refreshing the 2 a day expedition for them. It's actually crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the one thing that I've been refreshing consistently was the expedition. Even when it was 20 a day, I was refreshing expedition because skill books were something that like there was no RNG in that, right? You got a skill book and you added it to your summoner and it was guaranteed power. So I was like, that was something I knew I could do to get that guaranteed power, and my summoner would always be good.
Be getting stronger and stronger.
My runes stunk.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't the super laziest on runes, but I'm glad I was relatively lazy on runes because now that 6-star runes are here, I'm like going ham.
Sure.
But the next thing I want to talk about is actually, sorry, do you have anything more for the professions? Did you see anything else like
no, yeah. As you guys know, I'm just a brain dead Cleef main. I don't get into the math too much, so I rely on you guys and a couple other people to let me know what's best to do.
I don't really either. Chetta tells me everything.
Yeah, we all rely on Chetta.
Actually, the professions, I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely not a pro at it, but I'm pretty good with the professions because I've been going pretty ham on them.
Right. Yeah. You spend enough time in that book, you'll learn it.
yeah, exactly. But the next thing I do want to talk about, it's kind of lame but super awesome, is the new creature book thing for the new zone.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this has been slept on. This is a lot of rewards because I see a lot of people upset about this update over a few minor things, and I hear you guys. I'm not trying to dismiss it, but look at all these rewards. Look at this.
Yeah. like everything that we need. You know, it's got some mystical scrolls in there, crystals in there, breath of life, and the refined stone. So like I think it's directly targeted, obviously, at end game players, which it should be. This new continent rewards, and it's a ton of rewards, and you do it on all 3 summoners. So yeah, I think we're forgetting all of the massive amounts of stuff we got with this new update.
This isn't all 3 summoners, is it?
No, this one isn't 3 summoners, but just like the
all the other rewards.
Yeah.
These rewards are phenomenal. Can you go to like some of the elites, Chetta? Oh, those are the elites. Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, typically the elites will give you the mystical scroll at the end.
Yeah.
And then these guys give you less shards and stuff.
Still.
So hopefully you guys watched it already. Topher hasn't been able to yet because it's not released, but we did release a video on just like refining your gear. So if like you take your gear to like 6-star, and then or sorry, not 6-star, but like the highest blacksmithing it can be, so 6-star plus 2 or whatever. You can just like straight up reroll your gear. So Chetta, can you go to my gear quick? So if you guys watched the video, you guys probably already saw it, but so I did my marble. And this isn't like great, but like that crit damage roll is really nice for me. Obviously these rolls are very low. So right now this gear is actually crap. But I'm in it for the super long game, and eventually I'm going to take up all these stats with refined catalysts. So, and like I'll probably eventually lock like crit damage and maybe I have to take it to 12 and see, but I'll lock crit damage and maybe something else. I don't want to lock that crit rate because I'd rather get it on the 2 roll. But yeah, so like once you get your max piece, in my opinion, because it's going to take you forever with sky stones and everything anyway, I think you just play the long game and you roll your gear and then like you like take it up. But what do you think about the new gear system, Topher?
So for sure, that was probably my biggest issue early on in like me doing the wrong thing, was that I was playing the stats game, right? I had a bunch of White Castle gear and it's like, oh, this is a defense ring. Let me raise this up and see if I get better stats. And I probably brought up like a dozen things to like +8, +9, and I just destroyed my sky stones, right? Not really seeing that end goal in sight. So I talked about it a little bit on the videos that Childish put out, but really, yeah, like you're saying, just have that end game in mind, have that end goal. Pick your Naraka set for Orbia, right? You know, pick your Twisted Marsh set or pick your Foggy set for Cleaves and Kinas, and just bring that up all the way. It's okay if the stats aren't great, right? It's still stats, and it's still going to get you there.
It'll come.
We just got to refine it. It'll come, exactly. And I'm excited to see you guys to refine video, because it is a little bit confusing. There's a lot of nuance to like, do all your stats go away when you refine? Does the tiers change? All that kind of stuff. So
see, we're still not 100% on the tiers, Chetta. You want to go into it quick? I haven't done it yet because I'm like scared to.
I had to talk with Rukin because Rukin seems to have it on lockdown.
What did Ru say about it?
So essentially, once you get your stuff to 2 awaken 6-star, it doesn't matter. Like once you get it there, all your stats change completely, right? The tiers and what stats they are. So when you go from 1 awaken to 2 awaken 6-star, it's going to completely change the stats. So the tiers as well as what stats are on it. So it doesn't matter like, oh, I have a really good piece of gear, I'm going to bring this one up. No, the stats change.
Yeah.
So once you get it to that final spot, if you have like a C tier thing, a D tier thing, and an A and an S, and then you go to refine it because you don't like the stats, it's going to keep the same tiers when you refine. So it'll still be a C, D, A, and S, right? It'll still be those tiers of stats, but it's going to change what type of stats. Now, for your summoner, the stat itself is more important than the tier itself, right? The difference between D tier and S tier certainly is great, but it's still stats, and it's the right stats that you want. So like, yeah, so if you, as an Orbia, you like crit rate, crit damage, accuracy, the defense is cool, but you'd probably rather have either attack or
evasion.
HP or something like that, right?
Evasion.
You'd rather have something like, or evasion, yeah. So you'd rather have a different stat than the defense. So you would preserve everything else, and then you would press the refine, and defense would keep the same D tier. It would be D2, but it would switch over to a different stat.
Yeah, so we covered that in the video, but like, so should I go get my refined catalyst? We just need to do this because I'm telling you, because so when you roll your gear, even if you lock a stat, you can just use the preservation stones. You don't have to use the refined catalyst.
Correct. Yeah, you do not have to use the refined catalyst.
I'm pretty sure when you use the refined catalyst, So it's going to re-roll it. But I think it takes up the thing you lock. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure that's how it works. Can you go to storage, Chetta, and grab my catalyst?
I'm pretty sure that, yeah, when you click it, it's going to take, like, it'll go lock something right now, and you can see the refined catalyst will go from 0.4 to 0.3, right? So it's only going to bring up those things.
So it's only going to bring up the one it doesn't have clicked?
So see how it says 0 out of 4? This is where I'm a little bit confused, because if I click the refine, like, I don't want all those stats to change. I just want to deal with the refining catalyst. I think this should be on 2 different windows. This is completely, really kind of confusing for players. I think the preservation aspect of it should be on a separate window than the refinement aspect of it. Yes. So that way we're not messing with the 2 things, because these refining catalysts are so incredibly important.
Especially.
So you see how you're locking.
Just go do it. Science. Go get my. I have 4. Science.
Well, if he does this, he wants not enough refining catalyst, because we don't have enough refining catalyst for it.
Oh, I do though. That's why I'm telling him to go to my storage.
Oh, they might be in storage.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you lock all those other things, yeah.
Sorry, this is why I have no resources, because I always just do stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna just do it and see what happens, even if it's a valuable resource.
Why we do it for you guys. We mess up for you and do all the wrong things, so that way you don't have to.
Yeah, well, there's probably someone who's gonna be watching this video and they're like, "No, I know how to do it. Don't do it."
Right? Come make some videos, please. Help us.
But it is like a relatively new concept for our server, right? When did we get it?
This pretty recently.
Just bring all of them. What are you doing?
Well, might not want to accidentally use all 4. That's where I'd be. Like, I'm just gonna bring 1 so I don't accidentally use all 4.
Yeah.
I'm such a hoarder. I'm such like I wait. I'm so scared to do anything because I hate wasting resources and FOMO.
Oh, yeah. See, that's where I'm the opposite. I have Chetta for that. Chetta can just laugh at me later when I used a resource that I needed.
We call it the what was it? The basic route.
Yeah.
And the blacksmithing.
Yeah. That actually, straight up, my mistakes on blacksmithing were me trying to blacksmith when I was super tired. Oh, you can just go craft them.
Craft 100 of those?
It's going to be expensive, but it is what it is. So, good thing to talk about. So, we talked about this in the video too, but you can, like, craft the...
preservation stones, yeah. They're not cheap, but it's definitely part of the end game.
I said it's part of the end game, yeah. We said that in the video. I wouldn't be crafting these as early player,
so
but...
I actually ran out of these little materials right here.
All your things. It's going to cost you 4,000 for it.
Okay, it's fine. Because you can craft the other ones, and I have a ton of gear I can scrap.
Yeah, these actually, I didn't need a money of these before. These little things that look like gun magazines or whatever.
Yeah, that's what
I didn't need those before, but now I do. It's really bad.
Oh yeah, it's a really scarce resource actually. Like a good way to do it, even though it's bad right now with the runes, but you just run subjugation, and you dismantle the gear.
Right, for sure.
But obviously, then you're taking away resources from rune farming and stuff. Like,
yeah, I think rune farming is probably most important now.
See, but isn't that going to roll the crit damage? That's why I don't want to do it that way. I would literally rather lose 4 refining catalysts than my crit damage roll.
Yeah, so that's where I'm confused. It's like, if you lock a couple things, then it's like, are we only rolling the catalyst? Or is by checking the catalyst meaning that we're not going to reroll? That's what I'm scared of. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I check catalyst, does that then re-roll to a new stat? I think they should be on different windows. So Rue can put up something in our Discord, sort of like a step 1, step 2, step 3. It's a pinned comment. So I keep referring to that, and I still am a little bit confused by it because it doesn't fully make sense to me.
Did he do it?
So, like, from what I understand, like, it should be if I press refine catalyst, then the whole concept of re-rolling stats doesn't go away, or that goes away. And we're just dealing with the refinement now.
That's what I figured.
Like when I check it, it turns off. Right. So if I check it, and I don't want to say this and you do it and it's wrong, but it's like, from what this looks like, if I click one, if I click the other three things and then I choose refine catalyst check mark, we're not gonna re-roll that open thing. We're just going to use that refine catalyst on it. But that's the thing though. I don't want you to do that and then like crit damage goes away.
Okay, let's go.
Like this?
Yeah.
Like you want that crit. So like in theory, and I haven't done it yet, when you click refine, it's just going to refine that. I don't know. And that's why.
Just do it. Let's
Like,
go.
I'd assume this would go to a B.
Yeah, let's do it. Go,
Right,
go,
that's
go,
the
go.
assumption. Oh.
I don't want to.
Sub-property grade will increase with 100% chance using refining catalyst to refine. Okay. That seems like what we want, right?
Yeah.
So
that's-
puts it up, but
So it goes
also
up,
changes it.
but that doesn't make any sense. Why is it doing that? So you want to keep your first one because it's like crit damage is so important.
Yeah, you got to keep the first one.
So then what's the point of it? How do
So
we...
it is what I said, though, I bet. You have to lock it.
But then the refining catalyst option goes away when everything's locked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You would
Wait,
press...
you want to keep or you want to go
keep.
for the new?
No,
you wanna
keep.
Keep. You want that crit damage.
Yeah.
So, like, that's where I don't understand. So when you, like, lock crit damage as well, if you lock all four, the option for refined catalyst goes away.
It won't let you lock.
Or
all
can't
four.
lock any more subpart. Yeah, so that's where I'm so confused. Like, what's the point?
So
I know
if
Storyteller
you do
has
no
that idea.
locks, and then use 4 refined catalysts,
It'll just
do
make
they
all the grades
go
go up, I would assume.
Right?
Oh, we need to go do that.
Would change everything. It would have the grades go up, and then your stats would change.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything would be different.
So, like, how do I keep what I have, but only have the grades go up? That's where I'm so confused. I'll have to
I
go
don't know,
back and
yeah.
watch Storyteller do it and see.
I'd maybe be saving your refined catalyst. I'm going to go back and watch Storyteller too. But if that's actually the way it works, you need to save them.
Yeah, until it's either a little less confusing or they make it a little different.
Yeah, that's...
But yeah, I think they should be on 2 separate windows. Like preserve what you want and then re-roll for a new stat. And then on a different window, just a little arrow to switch over. It's only refinement catalyst and you choose which thing you want to refine.
Yeah,
And
which
use
thing you want to
refinement
upgrade.
catalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
Because
stays
like,
the
it takes
same.
forever to exactly, and it stays the same stat. It just goes up the tier. It already takes forever. It's already end game grind.
need to find the
use
mine.
refine catalyst.
Sorry.
This one's different.
What? What do you mean it's different? Oh, it's the faint core one.
And then there's all this hard iron.
Oh, that's not part of the mining cap either.
Yeah. And it's the special iron for the second iron recipe.
So where do you
Can
get
you
the faint
auto?
cores from?
Killing the guys.
No, you can't auto this. Just like the other
Okay.
one, you can't auto. But the
Right,
other
okay.
one, it is like the gem one. It's like 270, so you can auto it
Right.
for like a long time.
Sure.
But I think Cheddar, you said the other one was only 10, right? But it's spawned in the same spot over and over again, so you could just stand in the same spot, and then, which I think is how this is going to be. So
Yeah.
this is just going to spawn again right away, and I'm going to be able to mine it again right away.
Okay, yeah, there's the faint core. Trying this out for the first time, actually.
Oh, and it drops faint cores? Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
done
drops
this one
faint
yet
codes when you
either.
mine.
Yeah, so you see 1 out of 10 now. So cooperation, the group as a total have gotten the 50 out of 50, and now down below is our progress. I'm at 2 out of 10.
Yeah, the 50 out of 50 doesn't seem to matter. I don't know why it keeps coming up. Sometimes it'll even reset, but it just goes for half an hour.
Right. That's just for the people like cooperation event, right? Back when it used to be have to have 100 people come and do this.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. At least 50 people need to come. And then you can also do it on all your alts because it's half an hour. So what I'll do is
Right.
I'll get like 10 and then switch champions. Then get 10 and then switch champions. And then to get your
Sure.
rewards, once it's over, you just switch back to all those champions again.
Right. It just kind of stays there, yeah.
Jenna, can you go back into the menu though for 1 sec? I know we're doing this event, but oh, what else is there? Okay, go back to mining. The guard journal stuff was really good. The Chiwu. Have you done your stuff to get Chiwu yet?
I actually did it on my ult. I haven't done it on my main account yet. But yeah, no, there's a ton of stuff in the Chiwu story. So even if you just need resources, you're not going to build Chiwu. Honestly, you probably could, especially if you're free to play. Chiwu would be a great monster, especially if you don't have Segment. He's not a replacement for Segment, but he does some similar things.
In PvE, he kind of is. Like, I guess not because he doesn't put defense, but yeah, like he's good. Right. And the rewards were really, really good for him.
It's 1 million gold and 2,700 sky stones.
For sure, yeah. So that's the thing. It's like, you know, we run out of gold, we run out of resources. But if we do play the game, if you do all the stories, if you go through all your different summoners, you keep up with the events, you get a lot of resources. Now, granted, if you're playing the game 12 hours a day, then you may not have enough resources, right? But
I hear you on the 12 hours a day thing, but like, are you trying to focus on one thing and you run out of resources for that one thing and you're like, oh, I'm stuck? And
right.
You don't go
that's why I tell people, just go back and
things?
forth. You got to go do some towers, right? Go do some towers, go back and do some expedition. You know, you got to swap between stuff. And obviously there's a cap on the number of runes that we can farm a day, unless you have tons of tickets, right? You could just keep refreshing tickets. So there's really an endless amount of things that you could be doing.
Repeat requests in the early game take you longer to do. So I know some people have a habit of like staying at max, but if you make sure you keep your repeat request thing like kind of always emptied out, that's a good way to maximize your like path of growth tickets. And I've heard a lot of people give advice for like new players to save all their metal things, like the Rahil things, till they get to Ruggermatang. But one thing I want to say is if you're a casual and you're not going to get to Ruggermatang in like 3 days, like if you're playing through the story slow, and you're not going to get to Ruggermatang within like a week, I think that you should just do the lower levels for the tickets anyway. Because you're just missing out on like refreshes.
Sure, yeah, it's definitely not like an end of the world sort of like mistake or whatever people can make. I would definitely feel fine with using 10, 15, 20 of them a day or whatever if you're a casual player.
For sure, but just making sure you're not capped, because like a lot of people complain about not having tickets like all the time, or like not being able to farm the rune dungeon like unlimitedly, but I've always kept on top of my medals and I've never ran out of tickets really, apart from a few times, and I farm it like crazy.
Yeah, same.
I've got like 3 things here.
Okay.
So, first one. These guys. Like these guys in Ruggermatang, they drop the 4-star hero runes, right? And then these guys now in Contana, they drop 5-star hero runes, and then you can combine them together. So you can overnight farm where one of these guys is, wake up in the morning, combine all those runes together.
Because combining's free.
Yeah, pray that you get a 6-star.
And it does happen every now and then, for sure.
Yeah.
I finally started getting some. Bro, I literally thought it was bugged. I did like 40, and I didn't get a single one. I was like, what?
Yeah, so the global players that are watching, you guys don't have the 6-star runes yet, but you do have the combination process. So if you combine 5-star runes together, you can definitely get like a legendary 5-star, and that's certainly a good use of that combo.
I've just been doing like all my purple runes. I'm so bad.
The next thing that I wanted to talk about was this right here.
Okay.
The area dungeon.
Oh yeah, this is BS.
Because it just kind of like, why is there not another one here?
Right? Why can't we go and do it?
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. We should be able to go back and do those dungeons.
Yeah. Well, no, you can go back and do them, but like they've had it for every single world, and now they didn't do it for Cotana.
It is interesting, for sure. I did notice that. I was like, oh, so I can get some more crystals.
Nope. Especially when Barcode just put out that video. Got me like extra hyped about it.
Yeah.
What's your last thing?
And then the last one's this. Is it doesn't have a hero area for Contana yet either.
Oh yeah.
True. Yeah.
I thought they'd add one in, but
Right. I wonder what they would do with that, with like the elements, since we have the 5 continents, the 5 elements.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would do something that's like, a combo of elements maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's like a neutral area.
Oh, have you went to buy your new skills yet?
So I haven't yet, and I was looking at some of the skills. It seems like the some pretty cool stuff, at least as a Cleef main for me. Fire just became significantly better for Seal, because now I'm going to have Burn and Bleed on my fire weapon as Cleef.
Oh, nice.
Whereas before I only had Bleed and I had Shock on my Wind weapon. But now I can do a little bit more damage in Seal as Cleef, so that's kind of nice. But overall, though, it seems like the Wind skill 2 seems to be pretty good. Especially for stuff like Galagos, I believe, because it like separates and it's like hits multiple enemies.
Yeah, I haven't I looked at Orbeez a little bit, but the main thing that I saw was it cost 10 skill points to unlock it, and I kind of cried.
Yeah, it is. Once you unlock it, it's unlocked, right? So I don't know if that's like something that we should focus on right now, or if we should just like try to max out our our active skills and stuff like that. I'm almost done maxing out. I just have 2 more on my ultimate, and I'm maxed on my active skills.
Yeah, I'm close to. I have 2 more on my basic and 2 more on my ultimate, and then 1 and 1 on all my skills. But I did buy them, so on all the skills. So I figured I might as well just have them in case I find out one's good.
Yeah, definitely good to have. And I like this idea of making the summoners more versatile in the end game, right? So that way you can apply your summoners in different situations, right? So maybe one skill is a little bit better for Galagos, whereas another skill is a little bit better for PvP or something, right? I like the ability to kind of diversify our summoners, so that way not all Orbeez are the same and not all Cleefs are the same, and gives you a variety of build options and monsters to bring. Like, if Cleef is able to do this now, then maybe I don't have to bring a monster for that, right? So I think that's a really cool addition, and I hope they keep doing that in a way. Because at some point here, we're going to have all of our skills maxed. Maybe not our element skills, but at some point, we're going to have all of our skills maxed. And we can spend those skill books on, of course, these new skills. For hopefully every skill might have a couple.
Yeah, and I think that's next update, right? In 2 weeks, we get this skill share too, right? So I'm interested to see how that's going to work. Yes, that is something
I'm most interested in. Because, obviously gear is probably your most important part of your summoner, but there's a lot of things that I'm just like barely can't do with my Orbia. But if I was max skilled with my Orbia, I think I'd do a lot better in a lot of content, even though my equipment isn't great on my Orbia.
Orbia is crazy. It's
for
cool.
Sure.
We can all admit it.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah, do you have anything in particular that you want to talk about the update?
It's really cool. They've given us a lot of things, and I do want to be grateful for, the time and the effort, the art team, the amount of content that they've given us, the amount of rewards that they've given us, more things to do in the game, which, there's a lot of things to do in the game, so that's a little bit tough. But overall, I think it was a good update, and I think that they're giving us content relatively fast. I know the auto mining thing and the cap is a big deal, but like it's only been 8 hours, right? It's only been like a day since this has come out. So let's give them a chance to respond, and also let's not hound the American marketing team, Idle and all them. They're not the ones that are making the decision. They will take your feedback, right? Make sure to do the actual feedback surveys, right? That's what ComToUs actually looks at. The ComToUs developers aren't typically looking at the comments, right?
Yeah, they want to see what people are actually submitting to them too, right? Because that's also a barrier for them to stop people just like putting in kind of dumb comments too. Of course, that can still kind of happen, but there's like a little bit more of a barrier because you're actually taking the time out to go and like do the survey and stuff too, right? And not just like talking on Discord because you're just chilling there talking crap anyway.
Right. I know I want everybody to voice their feedback, but I want them to voice it in a way that's going to be most efficient, that we actually get things changed, and also not
constructive.
Our good friends Barcode and Idle over there as they're attempting to have a fun free to play stream. So just enjoy the stream, guys. Yeah, I felt a little bit bad. I'm like, come on, guys, like. Yes, Barcode's already made a video about it. Idle already hears it. He's got everything. Let's just enjoy the free-to-play brawl.
Yeah, even us, I think we made a video about it, so.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's made a video about it.
Sorry guys. Cheddar, what are you doing?
This zone's in 2 different areas, and this area is platinum.
Isn't she done? Don't you need to change summoners? Isn't that the whole thing? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
It's a short event. You gotta show the people how to progress the best. Yeah, but you're wasting time.
Yeah, it took me about 10 minutes on the first summoner.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. I was able to do all 3 today. I think I only got like 9 luck shards though on my last summoner, not 10, but...
Right.
If you want to be super smart, you could go 3, 3, and 3, and then like go back and farm.
Right.
But...
Yeah, definitely a nice improvement to the field events, I think, overall.
To be honest, I went from being like 60% happy with the update to like 90%.
Right.
So I think like everything overall super well done. I'm usually not a big fan of like art and games, but like huge shout out to the art team in this game. They did do a very, very good job. I've always been a fan of like the Summoner's War art style, which they kept in this, so that was awesome. And then yeah, like of course the new zones and stuff, all the new rewards, new dungeons. Feels like they added a whole like new game again onto it, and they did that with Galagos recently again. Like the updates have been coming fast, in my opinion. So,
yeah.
Chetta,
yeah.
Do you have anything?
No, not really. I gave my stuff.
You gave your 3 cents.
2 cents. Yeah,
Yeah.
2 cents.
Yeah. So let us know down in the comments down below, guys, what you're thinking about the update, what suggestions you have, all that fun stuff. I know maybe you're sick of writing your suggestions, so make sure you write them in the survey first before the comment section, but we do appreciate all that. As always, I'm sure everyone who watches this already subscribes to Topher because he's the best, but if you don't, be sure. Do you want to let them know where they can find you, Topher?
Yeah, just TOPHERSMURF over there on YouTube. That's pretty much the only place I post stuff. I do have other socials, but I don't really keep up with them. it's hard.
Yeah, same. I'm kind of on Twitter because CompTOS is on Twitter a lot.
Right.
But like, I've never used Twitter. Like, don't really like it. But like, I go and check CompTOS every day.
Yeah, I was making my accounts, and I'm like, I'm supposed to have these, right?
Yeah.
Use them.
My Instagram, I haven't posted on in like 2 months.
For sure, though.
But yeah, so I think that's it for us, guys. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you. And yeah, be sure to check out Topher's videos, our videos. You know how it is. We'll catch you guys in the next one.